I have to be honest. I love trash talking dictators and socialist Third Reich you know copiers. Yeah, people that just behave like the Third Reich. That are dictatorial, or that have like some communist behavior. I mean, which Putin does. He sees himself as a communist leader, but I don't know. I see him as more than that. I see him as a dictator, though he wouldn't claim himself to be a dictator. But I love trash talking Putin. It's very fun. He's a small man in my opinion. Um, and this video is more evidence of that. This video I just watched. He's basically a simp. I think that's what I'll title this video: Putin the simp. Putin the degenerate. I don't know, ladyboy simp. I don't know. I'll put some sort of funny nickname in there for Putin so I can get more views. Because I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time making these videos for no one to see them. Then what the heck is the point of me making the videos in the first place? So I have to come up with crazy titles, because if I don't, people aren't going to watch the videos. But I am going to be talking about, stuff in a crazy way and talking about crazy things in this video. But, this video is pretty much just going to be about Putin and me, trash talking him, because he's a sly dog. He's a rabid animal. And, we all saw what happened, with his, quote, quote, special military operation, yeah, right, that lasted more than, I think, 2 weeks. He claimed it would last 2 weeks, and it didn't, because he fucked up. He didn't realize that the U.S. would, I don't think he paid any attention to the United States signing a treaty with Ukraine, that we would defend them, that we would defend other democracies. But Putin's kind of a bit of a dumbass. He's intelligent, yeah. Putin is an intelligent guy, but there's certain things about him that make him a bit of a dumbass. At the same time, he has a high IQ, but he's he just doesn't make the right choices, I feel like. And him poisoning spies with polonium, and him launching gas attacks on people in the Middle East. And him taking in Assad. I think that further denotes just how petty Putin is to take in Assad. And whether you like Muslims or not, whether you think Assad is a decent guy or not. I mean, Assad did launch chemical weapons on like neuro weapons on civilians in his own country. He claimed they were rebels. He was fighting terrorists, but no, most of those people that died were civilians. From the data I saw, that wasn't wasn't collected by the Assad regime. But Putin, he decides to take in Assad and his family. I'm sure Putin ended up killing Assad and his whole family, because Putin realized, maybe it's a mistake me taking Assad in, because then the Muslims will bomb my country and commit mass shootings. Oh, and by the way, because it goes around full circle, because of Putin's dumbass behavior, with the Middle Eastern wars, he pretty much indirectly caused that mass shooting where those 3 or 4 Muslims, I think it was 3 of them, I think one of them might have died, but I'm pretty sure there were 3 Muslims that came into this big some big building. There was like a play or concert going on. I'm pretty sure it was a concert, and these Muslims committed a mass shooting, killed like, I think, 40 or 70 Russians, Russian civilians. And then Putin goes and claims that they were Ukrainians, even though they were very clearly Middle Eastern people, from the way they spoke, the way they dressed, the way they looked, they presented themselves. And so he just goes and makes this bold, dumbass claim that they were, that they were Ukrainians, even though they were Muslims who wanted revenge on Putin for, the bombings, the mass bombing attacks, and the neuro weapon and bioweapon attacks, that he ordered many years back, and I'm sure he did some more recent ones that probably isn't well known. But if that were the case, it wouldn't surprise me. Putin has always been a man that will use anything to his advantage. He'll use anything he possibly can think of as leverage. Whether it's poisoning people, bombing people, torturing people, imprisoning people, like that one guy, that one critic of his that he had imprisoned and then killed. I'm sure the guards, just beat him to death. I'm sure Putin didn't order it, but Putin sent him to the prison that he sent his rival to, because he was expecting that guy to die. So Putin he's a very he's a sadistic man. He's a narcissistic, very greedy, selfish man. If you look at his mansion, all the money he has, you can watch that video. You can go watch that video on YouTube. Just look up Putin's #1 critic, and you might be able to find that video where where this guy, Putin's #1 critic, talks about all of Putin's schemes and like immoral behaviors, and so Putin couldn't take that, so he had the guy in prison. When the guy returned to the country, as like a sign of protest, and Putin killed the guy. So Putin's kind of a bit of a bitch. He's a weak bitch. You can't tolerate anybody standing against him. He's kind of like Trump almost, in a way. He's not as bad as Trump when it comes to people standing against him, but Putin, he does things in a different way compared to Trump. Trump's got a big mouth. Trump will shit talk anybody that disagrees with him, but because Putin is sort of similar, Putin's just buddying up and simping for Trump. Putin's just pretty much just fucking simping like a little bitch, and rightfully so. I hope that Trump will conduct air attacks, air raids on Moscow at some point, because the little bitch, needs to get snuffed out. Putin, of course. So Trump needs to do that. Trump needs to, send the military to Moscow to fucking wipe it out. Just Moscow, not the whole country, but, just take care of Putin, or send in like a spy, that like, sprinkles a little polonium on Putin's food. Why not do that? Putin also, I wanted to mention, Putin and Xi Jinping have quite a bit in common. They're buddy. Oh, and by the way, let's not forget to mention that Putin is using North Korean troops for his military because so many of his own people have died, and they've covered that up. Russia has covered up its losses. I mean, so has Ukraine. But I'm very sure that Russia has lost almost more people, more troops than the amount of civilians and troops Ukraine has lost. But all the indiscriminate bombing attacks and shootings. I've seen the war crime footage, and I don't advise you look at it. It's pretty disgusting. I'm kind of desensitized to pretty grotesque stuff, so it doesn't bother me too much. But it nonetheless, it is pretty it's pretty vulgar to see. But Putin and his soldiers, they're kind of animals, if I'm being honest. Seeing what they've done to Ukrainian civilians. I mean, like raping teens and lining up and shooting a bunch of civilians in the head is unacceptable. And I get, you could say, oh, you can't blame Putin for that. That's the fault of those soldiers. Putin didn't order that, no, but Putin's sort of influence on his people plays a big role in their behavior. And the Russian people, I'm not going to get into it because there's a lot of stuff I can't legally say on YouTube, but because it's just that dark. But Putin has had a quite grotesque influence on his people, and in many ways you wouldn't believe that I've come across. I've learned quite a bit about Russia and its people, and there's a reason why they're so disgusting. Many of them, most are decent, I'm sure, but a lot of them are quite not great influences, at all. They're not the kind of people you want to be friends with. And, besides that, Putin has, for a very long time, hoarded his wealth. For so long now, he's just been, like, basically killing, opposition in his own government, and he's been directing a lot of the taxpayer money to, his many mansions and yachts. And I get it. He's the leader of a dictatorship. I get it. But the man's greed and the man's deception, the man's lies and corruption, they go so deep. They go so deep. The man is truly despicable. And excuse me, I have a cough. But if Putin is willing to attack Ukraine, over claims that the Ukrainian government shouldn't have signed this peace accord thing or whatever, or everybody in the Ukrainian government is a Third Reich follower, blah blah blah. I mean, despite whatever dumbass excuses Putin has for invading Ukraine, nonetheless, imagine what he'd be willing to do if he had already taken Ukraine. How far? I wonder how far would he take it? That's a big question of mine. How far would that piece of shit take things? And I think he would take things pretty far, in my opinion, because that's just how Putin is in his nature. And he was, by the way, in the KGB many years ago. Putin was in the KGB, killing innocent people, killing people that stood up to the corrupt, evil USSR. And if you listen to what Putin has to say, he's always gloating. He's always ranting about, oh, the USSR, we want it back. Well, he openly he says that he wants Russia to be a democracy at some point, and he always says it's headed in that direction. But he always gloats and cries like a little bitch about the USSR being gone, and he misses it. And even those that used to be like part of his administration that have left because he's a bitch ass, those people that left his administration have constantly been saying, like, the man is obsessed with the USSR, and he misses it. I mean, of course the guy does. He's a dictator. He's not a socialist or a communist. He's a straight up dictator, and he misses the dictatorship USSR, and he cries about it like a little bitch all the time. And so, what do you think's going to happen if he gets a hold of Ukraine? If he takes Ukraine, where is he going to go next? Is he going to invade Poland? Is he going to invade Germany? Is he going to invade Norway, Finland, Sweden, Britain, France, Rome, Spain? Is Italy and Spain? I don't remember. But yeah, you get my point. He's just going to keep. He's going to keep taking over territories, claiming, oh, they were a part of Russia. Oh, they're not a sovereign nation. They belong to us. Oh, their governments are ruled by Third Reich people. I can't say the actual word, but Putin has always done this. He's always deflected and redirected blame. He does kind of a lot of what Trump does. Trump. I think even people that love Trump can admit that Trump loves to deflect blame and change course. When people are asking him stuff he doesn't want to answer. Putin is he's not exactly the same way, but Putin is he's a very deceptive, sneaky little serpent, and I don't think he has the Russian people's best interests in mind. Their best wish. I don't remember how to word that, but yeah, Putin is he's a narcissistic sociopath, not a psychopath. I don't think he's a psychopath, but he's certainly a narcissistic sociopath, and he's basically going to run all of Russia into the ground, with his greed and his lust and his psychopathy-like behavior. The dude really is a piece of shit. So yeah, I just wanted to rant about that in this video. Yeah, so yeah, fuck Putin. Hashtag fuck Putin. And yeah, I don't know, check out my other content. I make some good stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's all. I'll see you in the next video. Check out my other videos, so I make some great videos.